So let's go now and see how we can actually run an ARP spoofing attack. We're going to use a tool called ARP Spoof, which is part of a suite called DSNF. We've already used one tool of DSNF, which was DNS Spoof. We used it to carry out a DNS spoofing attack with the bad USB. Today we're going to use ARP Spoof to carry out an ARP poisoning attack. This tool is very popular, it's very easy to use and can be used from terminal, and it's ported to most operating systems including iOS, Android, macOS, Windows, Linux, everywhere. That's why I'm going to explain it in this lecture. Once we actually use it in this lecture, we're not going to be using it in next lectures. We're going to be using something simpler, but it's really handy to know how to use ARP Spoof. So I'm just gonna show you here. I'm actually gonna clear this window and I'm gonna do an ARPA to show you the ARP table. This is our target machine here, and you can see that my IP address for the access point or for the router or for the server is this, and the MAC address is this. And this is how the spoofing is gonna happen. So once we actually do the ARP poisoning, you will see that this MAC address changes to the MAC address of my card, of my wireless card on my Android device. So I'm going to go back here to my Android device and I'm going to launch my terminal. Before I launch the terminal, I want to show you here that the name of my wireless card here, as you can see, is LAN 0. And my IP address is this. We're not going to need the IP address, but the name is LAN 0. So I'm going to launch Kali terminal. And I'm going to execute. I'm going to put my wireless card name after this, which is LAN 0. And then I'm going to put my targets. So we're actually going to execute this command twice. The first time, we're going to be poisoning the client or the target device. And in the next time, we're going to be poisoning the access point or the server. So in the first time, we're going to be telling the client that I am the router or I am the server. And in the second time, we're going to be telling the server that I am the target device. This is what's going to put us in the middle of the connection. So we're going to do this using the IPs. So I'm going to put the IP of the server, which is 192.168.1.1. And then I'm going to put the IP of my target device, which is, let's just have a look on it here. So I'm just going to do ipconfig. And as you can see, this is my IP address. So 192.168.1.241. I'm going to put it back here. And that's it. And I'm going to run my second. I'm not going to execute it right now. I'm just going to type in my second command. And the difference between this and the other one is that we're going to just change this to 1 and we'll change the other one to 241. And that's going to be my second command. And then the third command that we're going to run is just to allow the packets to flow through my device so that it doesn't drop the packets, because if we don't do that, then packets will come to my device and then the device will just drop them thinking that they cause a threat. So what we want to do, we want the packets to flow through the device, and we want our device to act like a router. So we're going to enable IP forwarding, which is done using this command. Okay, so all my commands are ready now. I'm just gonna execute them, and before I do that, I'll just go back and do ARPA to show you here. Right, so let's do our first command and hit enter. and that's going to poison my client, telling him that I am the router. Then I'm gonna go do this and tell the router that I am the client. So now I should be in the middle, and I'm gonna do the third command to allow packets to flow through my device and not drop them. Now I should be the man in the middle, and to verify that this is the target device that we are targeting, I'm gonna run ARPA to show the MAC address. And notice the change here. So we're still using the same IP for the router, but this device thinks the router has this MAC address. So as you can see, it used to be this one, and it was changed to this one. And also note that this is the same MAC address for device having IP17. So only by running ARPA you can actually see that this device with this IP is trying to do ARP poisoning because it has the same MAC address as the router. Now since this device thinks we are the router, anytime it tries to access any website, it's going to send the request to this device, which is actually my Android device. So that's going to place me in the middle, which means that I'm going to be able to read, drop, modify the packets. So right now you're actually the man in the middle. You can do the attacks that we did using the bad USB attack. So you can go ahead and run T-Shark to sniff the packets. You can run SSL strip to strip them and bypass HTTPS. And you can run DNS spoof to do DNS spoofing. You can do the scenarios that we did and we're going to do. So basically you're now the man in the middle. You can do all the man in the middle attacks that we learned before and do all that kind of fun stuff.